It's a big day for Navjot Singh Sidhu. He has formally taken over the post of Punjab Congress Committee Chief, along with 4 newly elected working presidents in the ceremony at Congress office in Chandigarh. In an attempt to break the toss, Sidhu touched Amarinder's feet at his elevation ceremony. Captain 2 tried to break the ice along and congratulated Navjot Singh Sidhu. He said that he and Sidhu will work together and also touched a personal note in his speech. Sidhu too said there is no difference between the leaders and the workers, and the Congress is a united house. He also said he will accept everyone in the party and he will only work for the well-being of Punjab. Before this coronation, high drama unfolded at Captain's Tea Party. Navjot Singh Sidhu left the venue after the arrival of Captain Amarinder Singh, but returned few minutes later and was seen interacting with the Chief Minister.
पहला तो मैं इन्ना मेरा दसदा मैं इन्ना दा रिश्ता की है रिश्ता इन्ना दा ये है कि 1963 दे विच इन्ना जन्म होया और 1963 विच मेरा IMA तो कमीशन होया और मैं चीन दे बॉर्डर ते पहुंचा सी इन्ना फर्क है साडा मैं जब 1970 फौज छड़ के आया ते मैनू उदों दस्सिया गया कि मैं मदर नूं पुछया कहंदे कि तुसीं पॉलिटिक्स के विच अपना कदम चक्को। मैं कहा मैनू तो कोई पॉलिटिक्स है तो पता ही नहीं है। कहने नहीं कोई तुम सरदार भगवंत सिंह जाके मिलो। तो मेरा ख्याल पता नहीं कितनियां बैठक असीं कीतियां उन्होंने मैंने इन्हां दे घर च या मेरे घर च और इन्होंने मैनू कदम सियासत विच वो लेके आए।
देखो जिहड़े विरोधी कहंदे सी अज कांग्रेस एक मुठ है एक झुट है एक मुठ है एक झुट है तो समुंदर है कार्यकर्ता समुंदर है वर्कर जिस सामने अस्तित्व खोना है। जिस तरह अणु के बिना परमाणु नहीं बन सकता अणु के बिना परमाणु नहीं बन सकता व्यक्ति के बिना समाज नहीं बन सकता उस तरह कोई भी पार्टी कार्यकर्ता और वर्कर के सहयोग के बिना नहीं बन सकती नहीं बन सकती।
Let's now go across to my colleague Akshita Nandgopal, who is in the studio, to give you a sense of the truce formula. She's decoding the entire truce formula between Captain Amarinder Singh and Navjot Singh Sidhu. This is going to be very, very important information because if this holds, the Congress has a chance as far as the upcoming elections are concerned.
It's clear that there's still a lot of tension, but at the end of the day, you're going to be seeing Captain Amarinder Singh and Navjot Singh Sidhu sharing the stage. Why has that happened after months of tension? Well, we decode that for you now. The captain is perhaps under considerable amount of pressure from the Congress High Command to ensure that this truce deal that the High Command came up with actually works. The apology demand that Captain Amarinder Singh put forth, saying that Sidhu must publicly apologize, is not in line with the Gandhis' plan. At no point have the Gandhis told Sidhu that he must apologize. Skipping the coronation by the Chief Minister will send a very, very wrong message to the cadre. They'll be confused. They'll be split right down the middle before the elections, and that's the last thing the Congress, or for that matter Captain Amarinder Singh, needs. The latest bonhomie that we perhaps will see in the hours to come may be a face-saving exercise, considering all the public bickering and infighting that we've been seeing in the last few months. That's really dented the image of the Punjab Congress.
Thanks, Akshita. Now I want to shift focus to the big showdown over the Pegasus report in the Parliament. It is only getting shriller and escalating every single day. Rajya Sabha Chairperson Venkaiah Naidu has suspended TMC MP Shantanu Sen for misbehaving with IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav on Thursday. Naidu expressed disappointment and said he is deeply disturbed by the course of events in the House. He called it a clear assault on our parliamentary democracy. Union Minister Piyush Goyal had called opposition leaders to appeal for peace and fruitful session again. However, no opposition leader attended the meeting. Remember, TMC MPs interfered and stopped IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav from making his statement on the NSO scandal. Now, what is happening is that the government is adamant and repeating one after another every time they make a statement about this, but not answering certain questions that have been raised by the opposition. Now, yesterday, Sen snatched the statement from Mr. Vaishnav's hand and tore it and flung it in the air. Earlier, IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav slammed the TMC MP and said Trinamool has culture of violence in Bengal and they are trying to do the same in the parliament. Meanwhile, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi lambasted the centre and asked the Home Minister Amit Shah to resign. He said Prime Minister and Home Minister have used weapon against Indian state and against our institutions.
The turn of events in the House brings us to the question of what drives the disruption in the Parliament. It is only political grandstanding. I have stressed that on the eve of the session, Parliament is much more than a political institution, given its constitutional mandate. But there seems to be a scant respect for the constitutional sanctity of Parliament, very, very unfortunate. As the chairman of this august House, I am deeply distressed by the course of events in the House.
TMC has a culture of violence in Bengal. That same culture of violence they are trying to bring in the parliament. तृणमूल कांग्रेस ने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं पे जिस तरह का वायलेंस किया है बंगाल में, उसी कल्चर को आज पार्लियामेंट में लेके आ रहे हैं। मेरा सीधा सा प्रश्न है, हम देश को, हमारी नेक्स्ट जनरेशन पार्लियामेंटेरियंस को, उनको क्या संदेश देना चाहते हैं?
Pegasus is classified by the Israeli state as a weapon, and that weapon is supposed to be used against terrorists. The Prime Minister and the Home Minister have used this weapon against the Indian state and against our institutions. They have used it politically, they have used it in Karnataka, they have used it to scuttle probes, they have used it against the Supreme Court, they have used it against all the institutions of this country. The only word for this is treason. There is no other word for this.
हम बहुत खुश है कि ये बंगाल का कल्चर जो बीजेपी का अगेंस्ट है और डेमोक्रेसी के फॉर है, वो कल्चर हम यहाँ लाने में बहुत खुश है। अमित शाह जब गृह मंत्री थे तब वो 2008-9 में सारे आईपीएस ऑफिसर को बुला के एक इजरायली स्पाईवेयर का डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन दिया था। तो ये जो गुजरात स्नूपिंग मॉडल है, जो साहेब वाले स्नूपिंग मॉडल है, वो अब सारा इंडिया में ला रहे। ये कल्चर तो इन्होंने शुरू किया पार्लियामेंट में लाना और देश में लाना। तो आगे अश्विन वैष्णव इनका जवाब।
There have been allegations that you abused.
Do I look? No, I'm not making a statement. I'm not the abusing type. Nothing like that happened.
So they said it on a presser, sir, that you.
Good for them. Also in the house.
And that you were going to. You're going to enter into a scuffle with them, and then Shantanu was saved by the other TMC MPs. Is it any truth in it, sir? Sir?
A major success for the security forces. A drone carrying 5 kilograms of IED has been shot down by the Jammu and Kashmir police in the Akhnur sector. The IED was wrapped on the wings of the drone, but before it could make a successful landing to whatever area it had to, alert forces shot down the drone. Take a look.
6 feet in diameter, 6 powerful rotors, rigged with 3 improvised explosive devices, remote controlled from just across the border in Pakistan and penetrating 8 kilometers into Indian territory. In a season of enemy drone scares in the forward areas of Jammu and Kashmir, what you're looking at is the single biggest drone to infiltrate our country so far. This heavy-duty hexacopter drone was shot down late on Thursday night by the Jammu and Kashmir police in the border Akhnur sector near Jammu. It was brought down with precision firing from a simple assault rifle, not any sophisticated anti-drone system.
कल रात हमें स्पेसिफिक इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली थी कि ड्रोन के ज़रिए किसी पेलोड को ड्रॉप किया जा रहा है अखनूर के एरिया में। वहाँ पे एक पुलिस की छोटी सी टीम गई और उन्होंने वहाँ पे घात लगाया। तो जब ड्रोन पेलोड को नीचे कर रहा था उस वक्त हमने उस पर फायरिंग की और ड्रोन को गिराने में हम कामयाब हो गए। ड्रोन के साथ आईडी एक थी जो 5 किलो तकरीबन की आईडी थी।
Drones this big can usually carry up to 10 kilograms of payload, a devastating prospect given how much explosive can be packed into such a weight bracket.
What you are seeing on this table is the proof of Pakistan's anti-India terror agenda. This drone was spotted post-midnight in Akhnur area. J&K police had a specific input and acting on that, a major terror conspiracy was successfully foiled by the alert J&K policemen.
Not only is this the first terror drone that has been shot down since the drone attack on the Jammu airbase on June 27th, this big drone is also significantly more capable than the smaller mini drones used in the Jammu attack. Here's how this new drone is a major step up from the earlier ones seen so far from Pakistan. While the smaller quadcopter drones are easy to fly for first-time users, the heavy drone shot down now is for professionals or industrial use and needs a professional to fly it. The two drones have comparable flight endurance, but that depends on their payload. The heavier drone shot down on Thursday night has a much larger weight carrying capacity and is also more expensive. Initial investigations suggest that this big drone has parts from China and Taiwan. Agencies are looking at whether Pakistan's Lashkar-e-Taiba or the Jaish-e-Mohammed could be the outfits deploying these drones.
जैश और लश्कर ये दो तंजीमें हैं जो ड्रोन के ज़रिए वेपन्स और आईडीज़ गिरा रही हैं और 16 AK-47 पिछले 1.5 साल में जितनी भी ड्रोन सॉटीज़ आई हैं 16 AK-47 राइफल बरामद हो चुके हैं, 3 M4 US मेड राइफल्स बरामद हुए हैं, 34 पिस्टल बरामद हुए हैं, 15 ग्रेनेड बरामद हुए हैं और 18 आईडी जिसमें कि 15 छोटे आईडी और 3 बड़े आईडीज ये बरामद हो चुके हैं.
After the Jammu attack, the number of drone sightings has gone up drastically and there have been several instances where the Army and Border Security Force troops have fired at them. The National Security Guard, in fact, had deployed an anti-drone system in the city, especially near the Air Force station after last month's attack. But the interception of this heavy-duty drone in Akhnur sends out a clear message that Pakistan has embraced small drone warfare and won't be stopping anytime soon. And worse, that with each interception, terror outfits are learning more and more about where the gaps really are. With Sunilji Bhatt in Akhnur, Jammu and Kamaljeet Sandhu in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Drone threat to the torrential rains which have completely battered Maharashtra. Ratnagiri is the worst impacted as more than 50% of the area of the coastal town of Chiplun have been submerged. A total of 36 people have been killed in the Mahad and Raigad districts due to the landslide caused by the torrential rains. More than 30 to 35 people are suspected to be trapped under the debris of the landslide. In Mumbai, 7 people died and 3 were injured after a building collapsed in the Govandi area. Red alert has also been issued in 7 districts, including financial capital Mumbai. Floods have ravaged towns like Badlapur and Bhiwandi. Train services have been halted. Roads are completely submerged.
Badlapur town in Thane district is one of the many towns ravaged by floods. When India Today reached Badlapur, 55 kilometers from Mumbai, the waters from the Ullas River had flooded large parts of the town.
Now, in this very area where I am, I see the signboard which says open gym. But if I were to look around, I don't see the existence of any gym. Localites tell me that here at the rear end of this very place exists an open gym. Now, this is a testimony enough to understand how deep the level of water here is at this point of time.
Strong currents of a bulging river had brought water into the homes of many, leaving people in a state of panic.
पूरा बिल्डिंगों में पूरा झोपड़पट्टी वो सब डूब गया पूरा.
रात में कैसे हालात थे, कितना पानी था रात भर में?
रात में तो बहुत हालात बेकार थे क्योंकि ताकि कोई पब्लिक बाहर नहीं निकल सके. अभी जरा हुआ पब्लिक दिख रही है, उसके आगे पहला पब्लिक नहीं थी.
रात में तो बहुत हवा भी थी और लाइट तो 2 दिन से नहीं है और पानी भी नहीं है. पानी की भी बहुत तकलीफ है.
बहुत नुकसान हुआ है यहाँ पर, इसका कोई अंदाजा नहीं लगाया जा सकता है. एक साधारण आदमी उसका क्या अंदाजा लगाएगा. फिलहाल यहाँ पर जितनी दुकानों में सामान थे, जितने किराने के सामान थे, सब्जी भंडे थे, दूध के थे, सब पूरा सत्यानाश हो चुका है.
Less than 30 kilometers away, the situation in Bhiwandi too was grave. Disaster response team had rescued 10 people who were trapped by the gushing waters. There were similar scenes in Washim, where heavy waterlogging had forced many people out of their homes.
No electricity, no water supply since the last 24 hours. And the danger still remains because the weather department has sounded an alert for the next 48 hours. Not just for Mumbai, but for Thane, Palghar, Ratnagiri and other adjoining areas as well. A clear indicator that people will need to remain careful for the next 48 hours. With camera person Samir Shanbag, this is Pankaj Upadhyay in Badlapur, reporting for India Today.
Incessant rainfall causing floods have ravaged the state of Telangana as well. Normal life has been affected in several parts of the state as the torrential rains continue to batter Telangana for the second day. Catchment areas of rivers Godavari and Krishna remain submerged. The water levels of rainfall in the upper areas of the neighbouring states. To the rainfall in the upper areas of the neighbouring states. Nirmal district received the highest overnight rainfall, leaving several parts of the town submerged. Over 1,000 people were evacuated from their homes and moved to safer locations. A red alert has been issued as intense rainfall is expected to continue till tomorrow. Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao has instructed ministers and MLAs to remain in their districts and constituencies to monitor the situation. India's leading food delivery company Zomato has made a stellar debut at the Dalal Street today. The stock opened at 116 on the National Stock Exchange, 53% higher than expected. The listing price on the Bombay Stock Exchange was at 115 rupees, a 51% jump over the issue price. Zomato initial public offering had received a strong response from investors and generated bids worth 2 trillion rupees as it was subscribed over 38 times last week. The issue price was set at 72 to 76 apiece. Zomato kicked off essentially as a rebranded version of the food directory service Foodie Bay, started by Dipinder Goyal and Pankaj Chadha in 2008. All right, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Bulletin on India Today. You can download the India Today app and also go to our website for all the latest coming in from India and abroad. Stay tuned.